Hi, Tonya. How are you? Hope all is well with you guys. Um, I just wanted to discuss some thoughts that I had relating to a text that I received, and it just invoked some thoughts in my head that I wanted to share with you guys. And a close friend of mine sent a text, and the text was a meme depicting the errors of slavery. So, slavery, segregation, and at this present time, mental slavery. And my response to her to the mental slavery aspect, which is what we are, in my opinion, experiencing today, I responded by texting back, yeah, that's that post traumatic slave syndrome, which Dr. DeGroy so eloquently and intelligently has written about, has many literature, you know, about this topic. And what I was saying was, post-traumatic slave syndrome has to do with, the 200 years of mental bondage that our ancestors had to endure, and passing on that trauma generation to generation. And it's still a trauma that is alive and well in our minds and in our souls as Black people who are cut from that traumatic cloth. And that invoked me to think back to the Willie Lynch doctrine, and saying to myself, wow, that was really a creative formula on how to mentally destroy a culture in order to maintain economic financial power, which historically has been the goal of, the powers that be, white politicians who this legacy has been passed down from generation to generation to maintain control, economic and financial control, by enforcing and keeping that formula of mentally destroying a population so that they do not develop or find purpose in acquiring stability. So, in speaking about that, there's so many things that we inherited from that time, as you guys well know. The whippings, the lynching, the degrading remarks, the taking the man out the household so that the woman can be dependent on the master, the rapes in order to bring about different hues of Black folks, creating envy within the Black families by allowing the light-skinned Blacks to work in the home while the dark-skinned Blacks work in the field. This way, light-skinned Blacks felt more entitled or more important or better than the darker skinned individuals, something that we clearly see today through mass incarceration. The Black man is being taken out of the home. The new targets of this mass incarceration are our youth, where they are detained in detention centers that where this country will pay over $100,000 per one bed in detention that they feel, as opposed to less than 14,000 to educate that same Black male. So the formula hasn't changed. The method in which the formula is utilized has changed, because it's going to change with the evolvement of change within the world. But the game stayed the same. Take the Black man out the household, incarcerate them for most of their lives, leaving the woman dependent on a system. What system is that? Welfare, of course. We're going to feed our family, so we are going to apply for welfare. Now they put our own people in position to enforce that Willie Lynch doctrine. Can't blame nobody else. I'm sitting in front of a Black social worker that's telling me that I cannot go to college because I need to participate in WEP, in the WEP program. So Can't place the blame on the white folks for doing that when I have a black woman telling me that I can't get educated, the miseducation of a black Negro, right? So here we go, woman dependent on the system, welfare telling them what they can, what they cannot do, that trauma being passed down to the child. This is why, personally, I don't believe in whippings, whooping my child's ass, as we so eloquently sometimes put it. That's inherited. When you talk about whippings, who got whooped with a whip? That's not something that we created. That's something that we have carried down generations to generations. You understand what I'm? Who got beat when they got out of line? If we were caught reading a book, who got whooped? If we was out of line, who got what? We did. So now we've taken that abuse and become the abusers. You see a youth that will kill another black peer because they were disrespected. Normal? No. Understandable? Understanding where that thought frame come from? Yeah, again, generation from generation, we have passed down that level of trauma, and now we continue to act it out without seeing or understanding how those behaviors has come about, and how those behaviors and that way of thinking and passing down that way of thinking to our children contributes to us staying stagnant and not moving forward. It's easy. It's easy. If I break you down mentally, the body is no good. You understand where I'm coming from? So that's what it is. That's what it is. There's still a level of trauma that we are dealing with as black folks that will continue to affect us and will continue to affect generations to come. And it's sad, and more than sad, it's disturbing.